Alright, before you go out and spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars on a detector, only to get it and say, this isn't what I need. Hopefully, in this video, I'm going to take you down through a little decision tree and get you down to the exact detector you need to buy. So stay tuned, we're going over everything right now. Alright, before we get down to my little decision chart of how to pick out the right detector, just want to go over a couple things. The first thing is, I am not associated with any detector manufacturer. There are hundreds of detector manufacturers out there, and some people in the YouTube industry are actually supported by ones. Maybe Garrett's paying them, or maybe Mineland's paying them, and they have to kind of say, hey, buy this Garrett, or buy this Mineland, whatever. I'm not associated with any of them. I'm not making anything off from the companies themselves. So, I just want to let you know that. So if I tell you one, it's either through personal experience, things I've read, or some different ways that we look up on the internet and get the ratings of them and all. So, and some people like to go and buy certain brands. Some people, I love Garrett, I only buy Garrett. I love I only buy my label. I only buy whites or whatever. And everybody has their own opinion. And it's like cars. Some people only buy Chevy cars. Some people only buy Toyotas. Some people only buy Fords. Ford truck, that's all I buy. But sometimes it comes down to a preference, and you actually have to make that decision in the end. When we get down to a group of detectors you have to select from, you may have to decide and do a little bit more research, but I'm going to give you a group of detectors you should be looking at for specifically for you in the questions we're going to go through in just a little bit. There are some detectors that work better in certain situations, maybe at the beach in salt water or in highly mineralized soil. So certain ones do work better, and this decision tree is going to help you decide what you're going to be doing and where you'll be detecting at, and these fit your need. So you're not out buying a detector that doesn't even do what you want it to do. So, I devised this chart, and we're going to start looking at it right now. I'll put a picture up on the screen right now, and as you see, it starts right off at the top. What metal detector should I buy? And the first thing I'm going to ask you is, what will be your main hunting location? And that's going to give me a guide to what detectors you should be looking at. First, I'm a field or park type thing will be the first question. Saltwater, beach, I'm going to look at waterproof stuff on the saltwater beach. Are you hunting in water, rivers, lakes, fresh water around? And that's going to be a waterproof situation. Or gold prospecting. Are you just going out and do some gold prospecting? So, and that's a certain group of detectors that you might want to get. So, we're going to start off first by talking about field park type situations. And underneath of that, you'll see the matrix right here in the flow chart. The first question I'm going to ask you is one particular type of environment, and I call it highly mineralized soil. And here in Virginia we have it. It's called, there's an area called Culpeper, and that general area has a soil that's very difficult for VLF machines to go through. And there's a company digging in Virginia, and they hold relic hunts in those areas. And I've been to them before, and when you go to them, 90% of the people have one type of machine because it's a pulse machine, and it penetrates the highly mineralized soil very well. And it's a little bit hard to learn, but we'll talk about that later. But anyway, that's the first question I'm going to ask if you look at underneath that category. And if you say, no, I'm just hunting normal fields, it could be a sandy or normal ground type situation. It's not highly mineralized. And okay, so you say, no, I'm not hunting that type. I'm hunting normal fields in the area. And the next question, going down below that, we got a little decision tree we're going through to get down to the type of detectors you need to get, how much you want to spend. Of course, that's an issue with everybody, especially if you got a significant other and say, hey, honey, I'm going to buy a $5,000 machine tomorrow. No, you're not. Wait a minute now. So you got to look at the price, too. That's another factor we have to put in there. So I made it a point of $1,000. You want to spend more than $1,000 or less than $1,000. So here we're in the field now. It's not mineralized. We're going down to the point. We're going to spend less than $1,000. So we're going to talk about the machines that will go for less than $1,000 in this selection A. So that's how we work down this selection A. Now, on the other hand, you say you want to spend more than $1,000, and that's selection B in the field park type situation, and that group of detectors will meet that environment. Now, let's go back up the chain one time where the highly mineralized is. And you say, yes, that's the type of area I'm in. I'm in all this heavily mineralized soil, that orangey looking soil. It's got a lot of minerals melting into the soil. It just drives some detectors crazy. It's hard to get. I mean, you can still use them. And we'll put some of those maybe in the list here, but they'll be at the bottom of the list because they don't work as good. When I went to the one up there, I used the AT Pro, Garrett. And I did find bullets and all, but other people beside me found a lot more that had the other machines. So sometimes in these situations, it's not the fact that they don't work, it's just they work better than others. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, let's say yes, it is highly mineralized. Then the same thing, you got decision tree that comes down. I'll put a little picture up there with a circle around it. Do you want to spend more than 1,000 or less than 1,000? And then again, like you spend less than 1,000, then that would be selection C. If you want to spend more than 1,000, that'd be selection D. And that, the detectors I was talking about, I see everybody using falls into that category D. Okay, let's go to the next group of detectors. That would be saltwater beach waterproof machines. I do a lot of that. I go down to the saltwater beach all the time, and there are certain machines that work better down there. The first thing you want to look at is, do you want, well, we're going to just talk about waterproof machines there. I don't want to put you in a machine on the beach that if you're in the water a little bit and drop it, you lose $1,000 because it gets water in it. So you got to be really careful about that. And when we talk about waterproof machines, I'm going to be putting the waterproof machines under some of these like selection A, B. I put waterproof and non-waterproof because some people, even in the field if you're hunting, all of a sudden a huge rainstorm comes up and you don't have your detector protected with some kind of cover. Next thing you know, you're a mile from your truck and it pours down. You can actually lose $1,000 on a machine not being waterproof. So I particularly, a lot of times I like to have my waterproof machine with me even in the field, but there are other machines that work better, so sometimes I'll use the other one too, but I'm close enough, I'll have it covered to make sure that the water's not going to ruin it. So be careful about that. People have definitely lost a lot of money through dropping it in the water or raining on it, and it's done. So we'll think about that in the end. We're going to talk about some of that stuff too. So, at the beach. All right, now we'll say, yes, I want to go to the beach. I want to go there, and I want it to be waterproof, and I want to spend less than $1,000. So, that would be category E. Okay, so, wait a minute. Now, I don't mind spending a little more money at the beach. I'll spend more than $1,000 on a good beach machine. So, that would be category F. And what I'm going to be doing is putting a listing down here in the comments down below, category, selection A, selection B, selection C, and so forth, and give you some suggestions in each one of those. And I'll go waterproof and non-waterproof. I'll put those separate in the selection criteria in the comments in the videos here. So I'm also going to be putting this on my website. Hopefully, it might not be there yet, but hopefully on my gigmasteradventures.com, I'll try to put a link in there too with all the same information. You go right straight to do it. And I'll have links to the actual detectors, so you can click it, go look at it, go look at the criteria on it, and get some more information about it. And I'm going to talk a little bit more of that in the end here too, so stay tuned on that. Okay, so we got through selections E and F, which the F was greater than 1,000 on the beach machine. That was the last one we talked about. All right, the next one we're going to talk about is water type hunts in rivers, lakes, etc. I go out in a kayak sometime in some of these streams and rivers in Virginia, and you want to take one of that. So same thing, we're going to talk about if you want to spend less than 1,000, then there's going to be selection G. And if you want to spend more than 1,000, it'll be selection H. So that takes care of the waters, rivers, lakes, etc. The next one will be gold prospecting. As you move over to gold prospecting, you will look down here and the same thing. Do you want to spend less than 1,000 or more than 1,000? Less than 1,000, we go to selection I. More than 1,000, we'll go to selection J. Okay, so that basically takes care of selection A through J. Should put different categories in there that you should fit your need. Now, what if you say, hey, I want to go, I'm going to be on the beach hunting, but yeah, I want to take one and work in the field too. And I might go gold prospecting. Well, one machine can do that, but what you need to do is look in each category and make sure that machine is in each one of those categories, that it's suited for those. And make sure it's, some of them won't be. And you got to decide waterproof. I got the list on waterproof or not too, so you'll have to decide if you want the waterproof or non-waterproof. But some of them will work in multiple situations. Some of them will not. Some of them that aren't waterproof, you can't take it in the river. They do make, sometimes you can make things waterproof, and I've worked on that some on some of the machines. I'm just going to mention the Day, as you know, is a great machine, but it's not waterproof. And I had a waterproof box I put in all, but I just don't trust myself. You know, if that box leaked and ruined thousands of dollars on my equipment, so I didn't end up. I just got a separate machine I use for water than I do for fields sometimes. But sometimes I use my water machine to field. So, but that's a matter of preference, and we'll talk about that a little bit too. All right, so you kind of got an idea what we're going with this matrix and how it gets down to the selections. And if you want to use it in multiple areas, you should be able to see it in the multiple areas if you want that. So let's talk about a couple more things. Even when you're looking at this, there's a couple other factors, and I'll put it up on screen. Ease of use. Some people say, I don't want to sit there and spend hours learning how to use something. I just want to cut on and go. Well, there are some machines that you can do that with, pretty much. They got built-in programs into it. Even though some of them you can change around, if you use the standard program, it'll work, and you can go out there and find stuff right out the back. So that's another factor you want to consider when you're looking at the machine. I'm working on a spreadsheet that will kind of give more information. I haven't got that developed yet, but hopefully on my website I'll have that in the future where you can go and sort it by all these factors in there. Another one is weight. Some of these machines get pretty heavy, and some of them are super light. So if you got bad shoulders, some people got bad shoulders, say I can't swing a heavy machine. So that's going to eliminate certain machines for you. And my spreadsheet will have the weights for each one, but eventually we'll have that. But right now I do not have that built yet, but eventually we will. But you need to look at the weight. Right now you click on the link, go in and look at how much it weighs. A lot of them, you know, or some of them are super light. Some of them, CTX 3030. A friend of mine's got one of those. He says, "Man, my arm's killing." He's strong too. My arm's killing me from swinging this thing. It's just a heavy machine. It's a good machine, great machine, but it's just heavy. So you gotta, you know, work through that. And they do make some harnesses you can get that hooks on the machines. Mine, they have GPX machine. You can get the little harness because it's kind of heavy too, where it can hold the weight when you're just swinging it, where your harness is actually holding the weight off of you, as you swing it. So keep that in mind as you're picking one of these. Oh, that's too heavy for me. You can have some alternatives to get the sling to hold the machine for you. You take the weight off of you. So the weight is a factor. Some machines, some people might say, "Oh, I'm gonna get different size coils for it." Well, some machines are not easy to exchange. The Excalibur, my Excalibur, I got a couple of those, and I use them underwater. But the coil is hardwired into it. It's not easy to exchange a coil. You can't just unplug it, plug it in. And most machines do, but that particular machine cannot. So if you're thinking you're going to get that machine, say, I'm going to get this giant coil for it. Well, you can't do that on that one. So that's another factor to look at when you're looking at these machines too. Warranty. How good is a company's warranty? That's another issue you need to be looking at. Some of them 1 year, some of them 2 year, 3 year. You know, so keep that in mind on the warranties on them. That's a factor that might affect your decision on which one you want to get. Reliability. I've done a couple videos on a couple of the machines I've had that they did not hold up very well. They just weren't built really strong. They didn't hold up well. Although they're great machines, and I still buy it again. It doesn't hold it well if you're not adapt to returning them, getting them back. If you don't want to deal with that, sometimes you might want to avoid a certain machine because of that reason. But you know, you got the warranty period. This particular machine had a 3-year warranty and it's still under warranty, so you do have to pay for shipping. But you know, if it's a good machine, you like it, you know, you have to put up with that a little bit of back. But sometimes people don't want to put up with that, so you might have to kind of gear toward another machine if you don't like that type of scenario. So. All right, like I said, I'm going to put the selection categories down below in the comments under the first comment right there, and try to list some detectors that fit in each one. I'll do waterproof and non-waterproof in those sections that need that. Some sections of salt water or water don't need those. They'll be all one list because they'll all be waterproof. But the gold will be waterproof, non-waterproof, and the mineralized soil and the field park type thing. If y'all have a comment, want to add a detector I don't have in the list, feel free to email me, gigmaster2718@gmail.com, or just comment down below and let me know in the comments. I'll pick it up down there and I'll try to add it to it. Like I say, there are hundreds of manufacturers out there, and a lot of choices out there. Now, some people might want to just go to the store and buy a Walmart and go to a bounty hunter and go out with that, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You can find something with that. You walk to the beach, click it on, and find a gold ring right there. So I'm not putting any particular company down. There are some that work better than others, no question. You know, saying you get what you pay for. Sometimes that's true even with detectors, because some of them how they're made, or just don't have the response in certain areas that you need. But anyway, I think that's going to cover it. I'm hoping this video will help you make a good decision on which detector to buy before you go out and waste a bunch of money, and hopefully it will save you some money. That's what my whole goal is here, and help you make the right decision. So anyway, I appreciate everybody taking the time to watch this video, and hopefully it helps you pick a good machine out and you go out and buy lots of relics. But anyway, if you have anything else to add, put it down in the comments. I appreciate you coming along. Don't forget to click like, comment below, share, and subscribe to the Gigmaster. All right, thanks for coming along.